Today we're going to be talking about a question that was posted on a Facebook group regarding somebody's relationship. It's pretty wild, and we're going to see if we can help them.
So I'm pretty much in a no-touch, loveless marriage. I've been thinking of asking for a divorce for some time, but here is my problem. Neither of us have family close, and I can't afford to support 2 households. I make 3 times what she does. I pay all the bills. I also pay for more than 50% of the play money. If I ask for a divorce, I know I will have to split everything with her, which means losing my home that is within 5 years of being paid off, paying spousal support. I know this makes me seem money-driven, but when we got together, we made pretty much the same amount. As the years progressed and I advanced and started making more money, she kept steeping down jobs within a company or just completely switched places to work for less and less. I don't know what to do. I'm not happy. I have a huge sex drive and it isn't being fulfilled, except alone, which is getting old.
So that's really a lot going on. Let me take a look at that prompt again. Oh, okay.
So no touch, loveless marriage.
So there's no physical touch. If she makes 3 times and she's paying for all the bills, it's unfortunate and I feel bad for her. All these things that get to this point, it doesn't just happen overnight. It's a buildup of a lot of different things over time. I would think that people don't just fall in love all of a sudden. It takes time, and falling out of love also takes time. This is just a little paragraph that this person had submitted. So there's a lot of missing information here. I would like to know, like, what has been done in the past.
I think that she really needs to communicate with her partner and really just check to see if there's if there's communication barriers. Maybe there's like a depression state going on or something where she doesn't feel happy in the job that she did have. Maybe she wants to switch careers, or there's like another path that she's looking for.
She's like consistently like bumping down or switching jobs to like lower paying jobs. Like
what's causing that?
Yeah, what's
like,
causing
is she
that?
Just not happy? And does she feel stressed and it's just she feels the pay cut would be okay because their wife makes more, but maybe they never had that discussion.
Especially if you're like a unit like that, where, you know, you're expected to pay or contribute to the mortgage because you guys are both under the same roof. You don't just like take a pay cut without telling your spouse. It's a talk that you should have. So I'm curious, like, if that was ever communicated and why she made that leap. I've heard there's 2 doctors, which is a very high paying job, but one of them, she or he, was feeling the stress from the work and didn't want to be a doctor anymore. So they chose to pursue something that's more fulfilling for them, and that was painting for the situation. And being a painter doesn't really make a whole lot of money compared to being a doctor. He or she wouldn't have just made that jump without speaking with their spouse. In this particular story that I heard, the other person, the one who was still a doctor, was okay with their spouse taking that pay cut and benefit for him or her to pursue something that was more fulfilling. That may not have been the conversation here, otherwise she
sounds very upset about it. So
yeah.
It's not just like this was discussed and she was like, oh, okay, no, that makes sense. Like, we can do that. Like, I'm good where I'm at and I want you to be good where you're at, or something along those lines.
And then maybe if she's taken a pay cut to do something that's different, that fulfills her, maybe she's planning to pursue something more with that. So say she wants to be a painter, maybe a painter that makes a lot more money, so she needs to market her business and stuff like that. So maybe she's on that path, but she's just kind of like in that growing phase. So I'd like to know that from the financial aspect of it, right?
It sounds like there's just more going on with her that needs to be discussed. I know she was worried about losing her house, and it's within 5 years of being paid off, which is super unfortunate, but not worth like the happiness. Because I mean, she's saying she feels money driven. Money is a big part of probably like her lifestyle, maybe. I'm not sure because we don't really know who they are. She should be happier, or she would be happier even if she did lose her house and had to start all over again. And if she is making 3 times what this person is making, she should be okay and possibly be able to start all over by herself again.
Yeah, that's a positive way of looking at it. Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be perfect,
no.
But life isn't perfect.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the romance side of things. All this romance wouldn't have just faded instantly out of nowhere. It must have been a gradual compounding effect of other problems in their life. Finances is obviously like a big thing that's mentioned here, but emotional stress, that could be from the job. So I would recommend to her to try and date again. That's usually my recommendation for all couples.
To date each other.
Yes,
not to date other people.
Thank you for clarifying.
We're not gonna fix that. That's gonna make it worse.
Yeah, go date other people. No, we're not gonna get to that point. But if you want to try and rekindle that love, definitely I recommend dating, no matter how far along you are in your relationship. If you just started, you're guys gonna be dating. If you're like 5 years down the line, continue dating to rekindle that love. Like, we still continue dating, and we find it fun just to focus on having quality time together. And I think that's probably missing. I mean, we don't know what they have tried so far, but I would start there and see if there's still that romance that can exist there. I heard it's helpful to reminisce back to the first day or the first time that the couples have met, because they kind of start to think like, oh, like they were all like giddy and they had butterflies back then for each other for some sort of reason. Those feelings fade over time. And if they can reminisce and go back in time,
what it feels like.
Yeah, to feel what it was like back then, they can rediscover, oh, like this is how we got together. Like this is why we're in this relationship. So continue dating. Regarding the sex life, I would suggest trying to talk openly what makes them comfortable. What are things that they would be open to trying? And to keep things interesting, go to a sex shop together. Sometimes it's fun.
If they're comfortable with
Yeah, if they're comfortable. It's a little out of your comfort zone, but sometimes, like when we have gone, it's interesting because we'll step foot in the sex shop, but it's also like walking into a candy store at the same time. I think so. Because like you're going in and there's all these toys, there's all these like gadgets, and it's so
new things that you've never seen. You're like, what is that? That's new.
And I think that excitement or that adventure of going to the sex shop kind of reinvigorates the relationship. And then my final like suggestion for that is, if that's not going to work, I would suggest getting a couples therapist, right? To get a professional to help mediate and see if they can help work out the relationship.
I think couples therapy is important, but I also think they should have therapy for themselves too, because working on yourself is just as important as working on your couple togetherness. So I think you would need both, and maybe it sounds like they might both need that because they're both struggling with maybe their own things and then their life as a couple. So to keep that together, they should do both.
That's true. No, I agree with what you're saying. If they have other internal issues that they're not able to resolve, getting a therapist for that would be helpful too.
It sounds like the spouse that she's talking about may need therapy for herself if she's the one that's feeling like not wanting any touch or not communicating, or the job is just like unfulfilling and she keeps getting less and less pay. Like she may not feel happy about that less and less pay. So I think she would probably benefit from her own therapy, and then them doing couples therapy would be good.
So then the next question would be, like, at what point do you think having a divorce would be the next step?
I think it depends how long this issue has been going on and if it seems fixable. Like one person may seem like it is fixable and the other person may not feel that way. And if they're not on the same page, then they shouldn't be together. So if the person that made this post is just at the end of it and she just feels done, then I think that's a decision she's making on her own. And if that's how she feels and she's just staying in this marriage for her house and not having to pay spousal support, she's not going to be happy in the end. So she needs to be honest with her partner so they can both go live the life that they want to live.
I know you've gone through that process. What do you think? There's a timeline?
Like a cutoff?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's, maybe, because you just like, I feel like when that happened, I just woke up and I was like, this doesn't seem like where I want to be. Like I don't feel happy. And maybe that's what this person who made this post is feeling. And if that's the case, like if you're not going to be honest and open with your partner and say like, hey, there's problems, there's something going on, like these are my thoughts and this is X, Y, and Z and why I'm feeling this way, then they won't even know. Like the partner may think that everything is okay and they're happy and their life is good and there's no issues at all. And then this may be like new to her, but it's not fair to her to keep those feelings in either.
Yeah.
And just pretend that life is okay.
Right. So what you're saying is it's important for people to communicate their issues with their partner.
Correct. Communication.
I was thinking that if this person who made this post, if they've tried all these things that we've suggested in the beginning, and say their partner isn't really making progress or not willing to change, do you think that that's
Divorce.
when divorce would be in the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Because she's not going to be happy even if her house is going to be paid off in 5 years. It's just a house at the end of the day. It's not the person that you're with is most of your life, and you're going to be happy or not whether that house is there or not, or
Yeah.
the money or whatever it is. But even when it comes to the spousal support, maybe the partner feels the same way and she's not happy, and sometimes people may be like, I don't want you to pay the spousal support, I just want to go my own separate ways. Like, you keep the house, you keep this, like I have my own thing set up. So it may not even turn into that in the end. She doesn't know until she's at that point.
That's true. Okay. Right. All good advice. I hope you guys found this entertaining and educational. If you guys have questions of your own for your situation or your relationship, you are welcome to drop it down below in the comments if you feel comfortable. I also have a link for you in my description if you want to share that and send it to me under Ask Me Anything. If you want this made into a video, we will be keeping it anonymous. If you want to make sure that your relationship doesn't fizzle out, I have a video for you. Check it out over here where I talk about tips to make sure that you have a happy and long-lasting relationship. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.